Did you know 1 in 3 women will suffer from a miscarriage? My name is Nasimbwa, and I'm not your strong black woman. Welcome to episode 6, 3 ways to recover from a miscarriage. I didn't know that 1 in 3 women will suffer from a miscarriage until I suffered a miscarriage when I was 16 weeks pregnant. It was a surprise. Everything was going so good. Everything was so healthy. Baby was good as expected. But suddenly at 16 weeks, I had premature rupture of the membranes, also known as PROM. That basically means that my water broke before it was supposed to, and I had a cord prolapse, which basically means my, the baby's umbilical cord was coming out of my vagina when, of course, it was not supposed to. But I'll talk about my miscarriage story in the next video. Today, I want to talk about 3 easy ways to recover from a miscarriage. And I say easy, but it's really, the techniques are easy, but it's not easy to do when you're in that state. When I first discovered that I was having a miscarriage, I definitely went through the 5 stages of grief. And the 5 stages of grief are not necessarily in order, but there are 5 of them, and number 1 is shock denial. So I was definitely shocked that this was happening to me. I could not believe it was happening. I was in denial. I was in the emergency room and I'm like, okay, this is not an OBGYN. She does not know what she's talking about. My baby's gonna live, my baby's gonna survive. Even though there was no water in my sac, I was definitely in shock and in denial that it was happening. Which leads me to number 2, bargaining, which is basically where you are trying to bargain with what is going on. So for example, for me, I was telling God, please don't take my baby, take me instead. Mind you, the baby's 16 weeks old and she wasn't gonna survive in the world, but I just could not believe it was happening, and I was just willing to do anything, willing to bargain with anything, even my own life, for this to not actually be happening. Number 3 is anger. I was definitely angry. I was angry that my baby was dying. I was angry that I couldn't believe that what was happening was actually happening to me. Like, this can't be my life. This can't be my story. God, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? And mind you, I had 2 other friends that were pregnant the same time as me, and they were having girls. I've always wanted a little girl, and I just felt like my dreams were shattered. The things that I've planned for this baby was just gone, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. I didn't want to live. I just wanted to just go with her and be wherever she was gonna be, which leads me to sadness, which is number 4 in the stages of grief. I was sad. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. I cried. I screamed. I was sad. I was really, really sad. And just thinking about it right now, as I talk about it, it may not seem like, that is because I healed from it, which leads me to step 5. I accepted the loss, and it can take time to get there. You know the saying, time heals all wounds. It can definitely take time to get to a feeling of acceptance, and it doesn't, everybody is different. You might recover from a miscarriage in 5 days, or some may take months. And then also we think about just the different miscarriages. You have the first trimester, which they say is where most miscarriages happen. before 12 weeks. And then you have late second trimester miscarriages, which is later in, which is what I had at 16 weeks. So I was super shocked. I did not expect anything like that to happen. And then you also have stillbirths where people actually go into giving birth and then they find out that their baby is not alive. So miscarriages can happen at any time, and everyone can experience and go through the stages of grief differently. You may be sad first, you may be shocked later, or you may be all of these things all at one time. And for me, I think I was all of those things all at one time when I first find out that I was losing my baby girl, Jazzy, which leads me to how I recovered from my miscarriage. Like I said earlier, everyone is different. These things may work for you, they may not work for you. Me being a therapist and me also experiencing this on my own, these are the things that worked for me. The first thing I did was write in a journal. This is the journal that my husband got me. He literally got this for me before I even knew about the miscarriage. Like the next day, it was at home and I decided to write in it when I got home from the hospital. And I want to read to you what I wrote. Okay, so it says, "Dear Jasira Namazi Ruffin." That was her name, Jasira. Also call her Jazzy, so that's how you'll probably hear to me refer to her. But this is the first letter I wrote to her. Joy is one word I can use to describe you. Ever since I found out about you, I could not stop smiling. I love you so much and will never forget about you. When I first saw you, for the first time, and I told your dad about you, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. Never apologize for crying. It is okay to cry. I haven't read this since I wrote it, so it's touching to read this. When I told your dad about you, he loved you too, so much. I know you are in heaven with my dad. Both I never had the chance to get to know. You will forever be in my heart. This hurts so much, but I asked God to give me the strength, and I know He will. That was the first journal writing I wrote to Jazzy, and it continued. I literally wrote to her every day. I wrote to God every day, just asking for strength, asking to give me the power that I needed to recover from what was happening. I didn't know why it was happening to me. I didn't know what I was going to learn from this experience. I didn't know anything at that moment, but just writing in a journal. And even if you don't have a journal, write on a piece of paper, write on some notepads, write in a notebook, anything to just release those emotional feelings that you may not be able to tell anybody else, that you may not be able to share with a family member or a partner or friend. Journaling can really help releasing some of those emotions that you have. The number 2 thing is get out the house. When I had my miscarriage, I did not want to get out the house. I wanted to stay in bed all day long. I did not want to get up. I did not want to move. But one day I just said, forget it. Sarah, you got to get up. So I just went on the balcony and I sat on the balcony, got some sun maybe for 10 minutes. Next thing you know, I said, okay, Sarah, go for a little walk. Whether it's going for a walk, even just on the sidewalk for 5 minutes. I know for me, I started off on the sidewalk outside my house, and then next thing you know, I'm walking for 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and next thing you know, I'm walking around the lake. So just getting out the house, hanging out with friends. And I know if you just suffered a miscarriage, that may be hard. You may just need a little time, but eventually get out the house, go visit friends, go hang out, get some vitamin D. And number 3, join a support group. In the description, I have 2 support groups that helped me out tremendously. There's support groups for women and men who have suffered through a miscarriage. Joining a support group can help you because you know that you are not alone. There are people out there like you that have suffered through a miscarriage and have been able to recover and overcome, and you can too. And bonus number 4, prayer. Prayer helped me get through this difficult time. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I am today. I told you in the beginning that I didn't want to live. But guess what? I'm here. I'm here telling my story. You will get through it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I know right now it may not seem like it. You can recover. How you feeling will not last forever. I know, I've been there. And if you have suffered a miscarriage and you have some helpful tools, leave it in the chat for other people that may be watching, because everyone is not the same, and the things that I share with you may not work for you, but you will recover and you will get through this. I'm praying for you, and I know it's not easy, and I know things may look hard right now, but you will get through this. I hope that I was able to provide a space for you to breathe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.